Good morning, everybody. Hadaka Guy here. We are standing in front of the old Belmont Mill site here in Nevada. I'm going to take a tour over there. We'll walk through it and I'll show you guys all the really cool relics that are in there. We made camp here last night. You can see our vans right behind us. Did a little photography work, had a beautiful, beautiful clear sky with the Milky Way right overhead. Absolutely gorgeous. You can see behind me there's a few more building ruins. We're sitting up in this canyon here, and let me flip that camera around so I can show you guys what I'm seeing. And that is the mill. We'll walk through the mill and then we'll come back down and walk through these little buildings here at the bottom. This mill was built in 1926, and it was built to process lead and silver ore. The silver ore, the mine that they were getting the ore out of, was 9,000 feet up the mountain. So they have a 9,000 foot tramway that's still standing proudly that heads up there, that brings the ore down here to the mill site. This is a 75-ton mill, which is a pretty good sized mill. Let me scramble up this walkway here. I'll also go to a wide angle, give you guys a little better view of where I'm heading. This is one of the most intact, well-preserved mill sites that I've been to. Absolutely incredible. Back in the, I'll give you a little bit of history, I guess. Back in 1926, when it was in operation, it eventually shut down, and different owners throughout the years ran it a little bit for a few years at a time, and eventually it finally shut down for good in about 1960. And in the year 2000, the U.S. Forest Service took it over and started preserving it as a historical site. So when you look up, it was close to collapse. You can see they added those beams up there. When we get to the backside, you'll see more of them. But they added a bunch of beams in to stabilize it, and they're basically preserving it in an arrested state of decay, which is really cool to see. This mine site, or this mill site, has zero graffiti, which was absolutely incredible. No vandalism. It's really, really cool to see people respecting it. Old workbench. A little tool cupboard there. Looks like some hardware in that one still. Looks like an airline. This looks like a furnace, maybe. Wish I knew a little bit more about the equipment I'm looking at in here. So look at these shivs here. This froze up. So those bearings right there would have been greased, and they'd be like a Babbitt bearing that's poured in those bearing journals there. This piece of equipment has some feed inside it here. These grates shuffle back and forth. You can see the other linkage down there. So it looks like they're processing the ore further up. It's coming down these chutes right here into here. We'll walk around this side. It looks like the larger chunks are being brought forward with these two, whatever you call them there, those big grates. So the larger chunks would be coming out here, And then the finer material would be coming out into this run here, and then it heads outside. And when you look outside, there's what's left of, so there's a worm gear up there there'd be another shiv driving that, turning that shaft, and there was a big wooden vat down there. We'll look at that on the way back down. So they're doing some kind of chemical separation probably down there. Go back to standard zoom here, and I'll zoom in and show you guys a little bit closer. There's still grease on the old gear there. And we can see up into the upper workings. Another belt drive there. Really, really cool. I'll pop out here real quick and then we'll walk back in. So there's some tracks, some narrow gauge tracks just laying here. I'm not sure that this is where they went. This is, I believe, the old powerhouse. So there's a large foundation. So there's some kind of, probably an old hit and miss or some kind of old gas engine that used to sit there. You can see a ladder on the rear wall, and it goes up to an absolutely massive pulley up there. Big belt drive. And then that shaft goes out of this building and straight into that building to run all that equipment. Such a cool place. Not sure what that building was used for there. Let's go back inside. We'll go up to the next story here, up to the next level. These stairs are a little rickety, but they seem to be in fairly decent order. The floor, on the other hand, up here is a little different story. You have to be a little careful where you walk, as you can see. We'll go back on this side first. I'm not sure exactly what all these big mounts here were for. I'm thinking that these were probably the stamps, if this was a stamp mill. So the ore is coming in from above, and they were doing some kind of processing work here. Where all of these mounts are, you go underneath the floors, and you'll see more of those little sluice box runs there. So material is flowing down to that other processing unit that we looked at below. I'm not sure what this unit is either. It has a wooden bin here. It's being driven by this giant shaft here. And then inside is a bunch of wooden fingers with looks like rubber or steel on the ends there. So this whole drum is spinning. I'm not sure exactly how it's functioning or what it's processing, but it is a very cool piece of equipment. So this is the second level. Up in the ceiling there, you can see that there's that shaft with all the belt drives that's going through the entire building. That is being powered by that engine that used to sit outside in that other building. And then back up in here, there's a wooden tank with an agitator inside of it that's being driven by another belt up there on the top. We'll walk up from the back side and see that a little better. I'll extend my Go-Go Gadget camera stick here so you can get a little better look. So it's a wooden barrel, still has the steel hoops on it. And there's the steps going up there. Beautiful out here with the lighting this morning. There's really no access to the very upper level. It looks pretty shaky up there. You can see somebody's put a barrel where they can hop up to that board and try to gain access to the upper workings. I'm not going to crawl up there today, but you can see, let me zoom in a little bit. There's another piece of equipment up there, a shaft, some kind of separating unit. It's got different hoses and pipes running off of the bottom of it. So here's another sluice run or material run that's heading down to that separator unit that we looked at a little while ago. There's an overhead shot of that. Man, it's just really cool to see all this stuff here. There's a piece of belt hanging there. Some more pulleys up there, like some kind of a coupler that they could engage and disengage possibly. And I'm not sure what this unit does. Let's take a peek up there with the stick. And then there's kind of a sluice run there, separator of some sort. And if we walk over to this side, look at the construction of that wooden unit there, how it all tapers down. A lot of work to build one of these, a lot of lumber. I'll show you this in here. This is neat too. So this one, this pulley here is going up above. It still has one of its steel scoops there. Chain Belt Company. So there would have been a scoop at every location on the belt there. So this is just going to be running this way and scooping up whatever is in this bin here and taking it up to the higher level. I'm not sure what is feeding this bin. Huh. Not sure on that one. Well, we'll take you outside here. Here's a little better look at that large wheel there. That is just massive, that big pulley, or shiv, I guess. There's looking down where the old power unit used to be. Here's another really cool item out here. Look at that lattice crane there, all riveted construction.
Yes, it goes.
That is pretty cool.
Yes, it goes.
You can see all the rivets. All of this material had to be hauled up here by mules and wagons. Here's a large spool of steel cable that's still wound. Here's another shaft, bearing shaft, or excuse me, bearing for one of the shafts. So this is Babbitt. It's a mixture of lead and tin. They pour it in here and then it's scraped to fit. This room here, not a whole lot happening in here. kind of a little annex. Looks like there's parts of a blower here on the table. Used to have some kind of chute attached to, looks like some kind of ramp where they could back up, dump something or something into it, come down here into the mill. This is incredible too over here. This counterweight is still hanging on that chain. So that structure is still supporting all the weight of those rocks inside that. That's wild. There's another one over there that is kind of falling down, and then another one right above me. All of those are completely full of ballast, full of rocks. You can see the shoring that they added and bracing that they added to stabilize it. One says Tonopah, Belmont, and Devco, East Ely, Nevada. Another one of these panels said San Francisco on it. Here's the stairway. You can see it's missing quite a few of its lower stairs, and people's put boards. A little sketchy to get up there. This is pretty neat. Look at that hook that is holding that weight. That has to be a massive amount of weight. And that chain goes up and then goes around a drive up there on the hoist, on the winch, that would power that tram up and down, I imagine. Not sure exactly how all that setup is working. 3 of those counterballasts there. Here's some more steel cable on the ground. There's one that says San Francisco on it. And then another one that says the Tonopah. Look at that. That is a massive amount of weight, full of rocks in those. I'm going to work my way over to here, see if we can get a little better shot of that box. Yeah, that one is still standing. Pretty wild. Just being supported like that by that chain. Straight up into that hoist house there. So over here is that upper wooden tank. This is the top of it. 2 big steel drums in here. There again, riveted construction. And then over here, let's see if we can turn the light on here. There we go. See down in there, you can see the mixing blades in there. There's the pulley there. And there's no ends on this side. There's that ladder that we've seen down below. Pretty wild. Get one picture of that from up top here. Okay, let's walk back outside. I'll go back to the wide angle lens. So looks like there used to be a tramway that came in there. We can see inside the hoist house up there pretty good right now. You can see that there's the winch. Sorry about that. Go back to this other angle. There's a good view of that rock and counterballast there. And the old rickety set of stairs going up. So this building is anchored with those cables there. That goes down into the ground. And then the actual tram cables come out the other side. Let's go up on top of this structure and get a view. Pretty incredible. There's more of the shivs inside the building there, you can see. Well, I don't know if you guys can see or not. It is pretty bright looking into the sun. There is the tram up there, tram tower standing, still supporting its load of cables. And then right behind me is a couple other little shacks back there. It's not a lot in them, but we can go over and check them out. A lot of massive timbers used in the construction here. And it's not a very far walk from the mill right over to here. Looks like you can actually drive up to this spot. There's a few old wrecked cars back here. Looks like from the 60s. It's a little cooler when you find the old Model A's, etc., but still has the engine and transmission in it. A lot of bullet holes over the ears. There's a pair of well-used shoes there. Here's an old ladder on the ground that has seen better days. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe somebody will recognize it. And over here there's a bunch more relics. Cast iron stove. Some old barrels, tires. Looks like a fence at one time used to be here. Okay, it was built right on this steep hillside there. They just propped it all up. And it looks like the walls and the roof has crashed down on this one. There's a little shack right behind me here. You can see the land above it is pushing in, caving that wall in. It won't be long before this one won't be standing either. Well, let's walk over to the back side of this building. See what we can find over here. Pine cones. Some kind of a little box there. Not sure what that is for. Can take a look inside the roof here. Pretty common to find this old green roofing material. These old green asphalt shingles. You see that on a lot of these old mining buildings from back in the day. Looks like another debris field there. Possibly another building at one time. You'll have to excuse me, I stop and take pictures while I'm doing video once in a while. Hopefully you don't find that too annoying. Let's see what this structure is over here. Looks like an old trailer. Go to wide angle here for you. Yeah, there's an old range up here. Bed frame. Looks like somebody was using this as a bunkhouse at one time. There's Eric walking around down there. Well, we'll head back down that way and see what we find. Well, we are back at the mill site. Here is what's left of an old agitator. As you can see, these are the arms right here that would spin around in the tank. And then way down here, there's the worm gear, or the gear that would drive it. There would be a worm gear driving that gear. We'll see another one down there below that's in a little better shape than this one. So when this one toppled over, you can see, man, it really bent that shaft good. There's a picture of the hoist house. One of its doors are currently open and one's closed. So that's where your ore buckets would come in and out of. And there was camp last night down there. And then there's some more buildings off to the right that we'll check out once we get down to that level. So let's walk down and I'll show you the other agitator unit down there with a little bit of its tank still left. We'll be right back.
Psycho?
Okay, we are working our way back around. I would sure like to get up in that room up there, but I did climb up on these stairs a little here, and they are fairly rickety. It's just not worth it. I'm sure it would hold me, but So we will head back down this way. Give you one last look inside of the mill here. Pretty cool. Well, we will head on down here in just a second. Well, I did manage to hop up onto this shelf here. So at least we can check out this piece of equipment here. Easy moving around here. Be light on my feet. So it looks like this small ore, whatever this stuff is here, is being sent down into this chute. There's a separator, like a shaker screen there, before it heads down there to that other equipment. See if we can get over here to the corner. See up in there. Yeah, it's just built out of like 2x4s. Pretty neat. Take a picture of that there. Pretty cool. Yeah, and it looks like there's a ore chute maybe that opens and closes. There's tracks right there. Just a little short piece though. See if we can see up in there any. Yep, well, that's about that. So we'll head back down. Okay, back down off of that. We will watch our step here and work our way back to the stairs. And then we'll head outside and see that other tank and agitator setup. Not sure what used to be mounted down here. More of the Tonopah writing there. Looks like they may have had an electric motor or something mounted here. That bolt is used to slide that back and forth and adjust belt tension. Or some kind of a pulley or shiv. Yeah, so this may be better to film from down below so that you're not staring into the sun. There's a look back at the mine here, or the mill. Yeah, so I will jump down below and I'll be right back. Okay, we are approaching it from below now. Here we go, you can see it a little better. So yeah, this is a similar setup to what we looked at up top. So you've got a drive up there, shaft is coming down, and then you'd have the big metal arms on the bottom here. And then here's what's left of the wooden tank. You can see all the bands. Those bands would have been holding all these boards tightly together, kind of like that smaller tank that we've seen inside. There's the little sluice run there, and that was coming off of that separator unit that we've seen inside that was classifying the larger and smaller material. I'm not sure if I can get a good glimpse up there, but that is a worm drive unit. So there would have been a pulley or a shiv for a belt right there. And that belt would have been running over there to the mill. So that belt would have been coming out, driving that unit there, and then coming down. And then you would have had 4 of those big metal agitator arms that was spinning inside of this tank. And then whatever ore they were sending in here, I'm sure they were chemically processing to separate the lead and the silver at this point. All kinds of old equipment and pieces laying around. Say, I wish I knew more of what I was looking at. Well, let's take a walk over and we'll check out the other buildings over there. Here are the buildings at the base of the mill. Looks like this is an original building off to the left here, probably 20s, and then more of a modern building possibly on the right. Maybe the same era, just 2 different materials. That's a pretty cool picture. Slowly giving way to the passage of time here. You can see it's starting to buckle. Pretty cool view out your front window. So we got a shelf in here, a few relics that people have found and placed here for others to see. Oh yeah, so here's the original building. You can see the siding, the shake is in a lot better condition in here than it is outside. There's the edge of the original roof. And you can see how this tin structure has been added to it. There's the old electrical insulators, cloth wiring. Yeah, look how nice. Still painted a little bit, kind of a gray paint compared to out here where it's all weathered. That cabin has seen better days. Let's go back through this way here. We'll walk over to this next cabin. Looks like a larger bunkhouse, possibly. I see a chimney there on the end. Yeah, would have been a stove there. Look at that, no graffiti in here. Absolutely amazing. So cool. Oh, I take that back. There's a 1987 one name. If you come out here, please don't do any kind of graffiti or damage anything or take any artifacts. That way future generations can come out and see the same stuff that I'm seeing this morning. Such a cool piece of history. Looks like a closet, maybe. Another almost looks like an add-on. You can see the shingles in there too. I think this building here, this end was also an add-on. Got some bed springs there with a little of the cloth still on the mattresses. And this building here is pretty much all the way collapsed. Looks like there's some kind of a little, little dugout basement area underneath. And then the top, you can see the window frames there. Yeah, and this building has seen better days, that's for sure. I walked up there earlier, there's nothing in that little tin building. Yeah, so that is the Belmont Mill site. Pretty incredible. There's the tram going up again. That tram goes 9,000 feet up to the mine. And from what I've seen, the road gets a little bit worse, so I don't think we'll be taking our vans up there. And I don't feel like hiking that far this morning, so I don't think we're going to see the mine on this video. But if you are in the area, I would highly recommend checking this out. It is a very cool historical site. And there is a lot to explore here. It's a great campsite for the night. It got a little chilly last night, but we had absolutely beautiful skies. Seeing the Milky Way, lots of stars. Really cool. So, till next time, we'll see you further down the road.